Hello and welcome to episode 179 of my Wurm Unlimited tutorial series. This episode will be on making a tapestry, but before we begin, say hello Raynstorm.
Hi everyone, Raynstorm here.
Thank you Raynstorm. Right, okay, so let's go back to my notes. There are 10 different tapestries you can make. 4 are player designed tapestries. They are people who won competitions with their tapestry designs, and there are 6 other tapestries that were made by the developers of Wurm. The tapestry I'm going to make today in this episode is the Tapestry of Feldray, a player from Wurm Online who, like I said, won a competition with her design. Why this tapestry, I hear you ask? Well, here's another little story of Raynstorm and my Wurm Online adventures. Feldray happens to be a very good friend of Raynstorm's and myself. We started chatting to her on the independent server, which is in Wurm Online, about 5 years ago. We had moved to a spot that we liked, and Raynstorm started chatting to our neighbours, as she always did. She'd always get to know everyone in the local vicinity, one of which of course was Feldray. Raynstorm mentioned that we had not deeded, as we never did back then, because as most of you are probably aware, when you deed in Wurm Online you have to pay for it, and back then we didn't
pretty broke.
What's that?
We were pretty broke.
We were pretty broke, yeah, that's it, well put. And so we never deeded. We would use other cunning plans to secure our deeds. They were never 100% safe, but then even when you deed, you know, there's always some sort of little thing that someone can do to rob you. But we had it more so because we never deeded, and so we'd have to use our own little cunning methods for getting around that. Anyway, getting back onto the subject of Feldray. So Feldray was one of our neighbours, and she got chatting to Raynstorm, and it come about that Raynstorm mentioned that we didn't deed, and so Feldray realised that we'd have to then walk from the server zone spawn point to our current deed, and it was about a 1 hour in real life time.
It was over 2 hours.
Oh, it was over 2. Yeah, it was 2 hours, was it? Yeah, that's right. It was. I know it was a very long way. 2 hours. I never realised it was 2. I thought it was 1, but yeah, 2 hours.
You didn't die as many times as I did.
That's right. Yeah, you did, didn't you? You did used to die. So, what Feldray suggested to Raynstorm, with their discussion of the fact that we weren't deeded, was that Feldray invited Raynstorm and myself to join her village, and by doing so, you see, we could then use her village as our spawn point, saving us a 2 hour walk. If we died, we would just respawn in her village, and that was just such a sweet thing that a complete stranger would do for other people. A total stranger. And it was just a really amazing thing. I have to say, she is the nicest Canadian I have ever had the pleasure to know. So to honour her and our friendship, I will make her tapestry. And it's a very beautiful tapestry, and it's actually a tapestry of her priest kneeling on before her deed, as you're going to see when I make it. On a side note, because I always like to keep Raynstorm on her toes, we can't give her an easy time, can we? Raynstorm also had an item made that her character designed in EverQuest 2. So tell us quickly about that, Raynstorm.
My item?
Yes, your item that you brought into EverQuest 2, totally because of you.
The haircuts?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, it wasn't an item, it was haircuts, was it?
Right. I suggested that because not everybody likes the same look all the time for their either like a salon or a barber shop or something. So they made it so that we can actually go into a shop and, you know, basically pay and then get your looks changed. So we weren't always limited to the same character forever. I said, you don't do that in real life. You go and get a haircut, right? You change your hairstyle. So why couldn't we do it in the game? And they actually implemented it.
So there we go. If any of you play EverQuest 2, the reason you can get a haircut is thanks to Raynstorm. But let's get back to Felgrey, shall we? So, wool is used to make tapestries. You can also use it to make hats and caps, to name a few. The total materials needed to make a tapestry is you'll need a tapestry stand, which we made in the last episode. You will need 8 square pieces of wool cloth, each weighing 0.6 kilograms, and 6 yarns, which each weigh 0.2 kilograms. The skill that we will be using to make the tapestry is cloth tailoring, so I will show you mine in a little while. The tapestries improve like cloth items do, and you will use yarn with your other tools that you use to improve. To create the tapestry, we first need to activate a square piece of cloth, and then I'm going to right click on this tapestry stand. So let's bring up a few windows to show you. So first of all, total materials, like I've just said, 8 square pieces of wool cloth, 6 yarn, and of course the tapestry stand. We need to activate one of these. Let's do that. Let's bring up my skills to show you. So cloth tailoring is what you're going to notice is the skill I'm using. You can see that my skill is on 43.92, and my success percent chance to make this, create it, let's activate that. Okay, what's going on? Oh, is maybe the weight is no, there's enough weight. For some reason,
add it to your crafting window.
No, I haven't started it yet. I'm starting it. To start it, you have to activate a square piece of wool cloth and then right click on the tapestry stand. Now it's doing it. I wasn't near enough perhaps. Okay, so create decorations and you'll see 81% for the tapestries. That's with a skill of 43.92. Now Raynstorm's got 56, have you?
6, right, and I have an 88% chance.
88. So there you go. If you get it to 56, you'll get this chance percent to 88%. So mine though is on 81. And like I said, I'm going to do the tapestry of Felgrey. So let's do that.
So wait a minute. Don't yet. So instead of doing it the way you were, did you already activate the tapestry stand and add the cloth to it?
No, you activate a piece of wool cloth and then
right
click the stand.
You can do that in the crafting window.
Yeah, I know, but I always like to start old school. I always like to do it from my pocket. I always like to show in the most basic form.
Show them? Can you at least show them?
True. Okay, let's do that. So crafting
you don't have
window.
To do it, just show them.
And tapestry, and there we go, there's the one I want. So you'd right click that, add starting items to crafting, and there you go. So you'd add them that way. But I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to go old school. And so you activate your square piece of wool cloth, right click on the stand, and then create. But thank you, Raynstorm. It is nice to show both ways. But I was gonna switch to that once I'd started it. That's what I normally do anyway. So anyway, let's click this. You should see my skill. You see it's gone up. Cloth tailoring, ever so slightly. And now it's called an unfinished wool tapestry of Felgrey. So what I'm gonna do now is right click, add to the crafting window, and you can see there is the materials I need. So let's just drop first of all the square pieces of wool cloth and continue. Oh, I'm too far away now. You have to be so close. Okay, that's that done. Let's add the wool yarn. And there we go. And what a beautiful tapestry that is. So that's Feldrae's priest kneeling before the altar, and that is an actual picture of her deed. Which server was this on?
Xanadu.
Xanadu. This, I remember Raynstorm and myself visiting Feldrae, and we were like a little way away from her on this server, and we'd come around and had to come up the hill from this side, and that's exactly how we approached her deed. She had a guard tower, I think, to the right of that, but you can't see it in this. So there's a picture, and you can see the oak trees and her deed in the distance with her stables and her priest kneeling. And I think that really is a lovely tapestry. Oh, it is, isn't it, Raynstorm?
Yeah.
Okay, but let's look at the other tapestries. So that's how you make a tapestry. They're all made exactly the same way, and they all require the same materials. So really, the only thing left for me to show you is the actual tapestries themselves. And these tapestries we're going to first look at are the other three player-made ones. Because remember...
Yeah, these just added.
Sorry?
These were just added to the game.
Have they recently just been added, have they?
Yes, in the last update.
Okay. These three are also player-made. So Feldrae's and these three, they all won design competitions for their tapestries. This first one, Wall Tapestry of Evening. That's quite nice. That's the evil goddess, isn't it? With a sign.
Yeah, that's Lobelia.
Lobelia, that's it.
Yeah, somebody was teasing me saying that those are our olive trees, and she caught them on fire, and that's her going, oops.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so that's Evening, of course, is the name of the player. Next one is Wall Tapestry of... How do you pronounce that? Ehizelbob?
I apologize. Ehizelbob?
Yeah, something like that. And so you can see he's got a knight with an axe and a dragon going on in this tapestry. It's very nice. You know, you think about you hang these up around your castle, it's going to look really cool. And I think this is the knight. Personally, out of these three, this I think is the one I like the most. Wall Tapestry of McLaven.
McLaven?
And doesn't that look nice?
Now, we've taken this one and shoved it back into the walls of, like stone walls, into the windows, and it actually gives it a feel of outdoors, especially when you're in your mines.
Yeah.
And, you know, so you can still have that look of outdoors when you're inside.
Yeah, so really cool, cool tapestries. Okay, let's look then at the ones that the Wurm developers made. So we got this one first of all. It's sort of like a brown pattern going on.
It's called Orange.
Oh, right. Wool Orange Tapestry. That would look good as a rug, actually. Okay, next we have Wool Beige Tapestry. Also quite nice. Looks like a curtain, if I'm honest. Next we got Wool Green Tapestry. Yeah, that looks like wallpaper. Next, now here I like these. These are my next favourites. So this one is a Wool Battle of Kayara Tapestry. Looks like a proper medieval tapestry. I do like that. Any self-respecting king or queen should have that hanging in their throne room. Next we got Wool Cavalry Motif Tapestry, another excellent one. Again, looks medieval. And of course Wurm is supposed to be medieval, so these are quite perfect. And last we have Wool Festivities Motif Tapestry. Again, another great tapestry. I think an Egyptian one would look absolutely brilliant with hieroglyphics on it. But there we go, that's the 10 tapestries. Anything you want to add to this, Raynstorm?
No, I'm good. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, there is.
Yeah.
One of the things about tapestries and some of the furniture that you do, when you go to pick them up and drop them, and it's on the same tile, there's not enough space. In fact, Gamester, can you pick this up? I'm not sure if you can or not. Okay, now try and drop it on the same tile with another tapestry and see the message that you get.
Okay, let's try and drop it here. Yeah, you cannot drop that item here since there is not enough space. So what do you have to do? Push them together like you've done?
Sort of, yeah. There's one thing, let's see if you can you pick up two at the same time?
Two at the same time? What are you talking about?
Two tapestries at the same time. Pick them up. Let's just see if this is a trick. Can you drop them both at the same time?
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, only one. And the second one you get the message.
Okay. I was just hoping that maybe if you drop two at the same time, you can kind of cheat. But it doesn't let you.
No,
Never
don't
mind.
Well, worth
so
a try.
You do have to push them. You do have to push them together.
Well, I'm sure people can manage that.
It's kind of the same way that the bulk storage bins used to be, where you can only have one per tile. And the same with a bed. So if the bed is there, you might not be able to drop the tapestry unless you basically have to move around until it lets you.
Okay. Anything else that you wanted to add to this?
No, I just wanted them to know about that.
Okay, alright. Well, I shan't do any more talking because I think I've done quite enough of the waffling for this episode. It was nice though to get another little story out of our Wurm Online adventures, because we did do it for many years and there are many more stories still yet to be told. Okay, if you want to say your goodbyes, I will say the outro.
Goodbye everyone, have a great day.
Thank you very much, Raynstorm, for joining me. Thank you very much for providing all the materials to make this episode. And thank you very much for your memory, because I didn't remember a lot of what we discussed with with Feldray. I'd forgotten quite a bit, in fact. So thank you very much for reminding me. And thank you for your time. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every single last one of you safe. Thank you for watching. And have a fantastic day. Goodbye.